So before we get into the video, there is going to be cussing, so just to let you know there will be some F-bombs and things like that, so please be forewarned.
Is college canceled?
Yeah.
College is fucking canceled.
College is on it's not canceled.
Yes.
College is on defense, and they haven't begun to figure out. Yeah. I'll just make $50,000 doing content or selling NFTs or doing garage sales. Like, I'm not going to do something that makes me miserable. They've already beat everybody.
And it's like more okay now. Like parents are saying, is college canceled?
Yeah.
College is fucking canceled.
College is.
Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. I want to talk about this clip. As a college professor, what do I think about that? Because you might be wondering, why do I care about Gary Vee, who's a guru, and Logan Paul, who's, you know, an influencer? The reason I think it's even worth talking about is because this is being consumed by many people. Over here you have 1.1 million views. It's been recirculated, cut up, re-uploaded, shared on other platforms. So let's just extrapolate and say 2 or 3 million people saw this clip. And if you see the clip out of context, myself is outraged by such a claim. I think it's such bad advice for Gen Z and other generations. But the thing is, if you have to watch the whole video, so don't click off. If you watch the rest of this clip, you'll see the context. They're not saying that college is canceled, that college is going away, and they're going to explain it. So let's dive into it. But I wanted to make this video because if you only watch the clip, you're just going to tell other people, oh, college is canceled. Gary Vee says it. Logan Paul says it. You know, that's not what they said. You were going to see that in a second, number one. And then number two, I just want to make it to people aware that now that we live in this world where we read headlines and we watch these TikToks and things that are so short, and you could take things out of context very easily. And so I want to explain that, you know, it's important that we take things in all the way. And so let's dive into this.
It's not canceled. Yes. College is on defense, and they haven't begun to figure out what to do to turn the tide. It's insane that we're this close from. There's one more generation of parents under me, you guys.
Before this clip, they started talking about Gen Z and how they're so connected to their phone and they can start their own business and do their own side hustles, like flipping things on eBay or NFTs or whatever else. There's many things you do, start your own e-commerce business. And I think that's great. The one thing that they say though is like, oh, you can make up to $50,000. And, you know, you can make way more than that if you go to college. But their whole point is like, people don't want to work a dead-end job or something they're not interested in. And I would just say that I don't want you to either as a professor. I want you to find something you truly enjoy. So whether that's accounting, whether that's finance, whether that's art, whatever it is that you like to do, I want you to find your passion. And that's one of the biggest selling points in college that a lot of people don't consider, which is college gives you the opportunity to explore many different genres and many different, disciplines, from art to geology, history, philosophy, and you can find what you like. The college isn't necessarily a path to a career only. It's a path to happiness, what you want to be doing with your life. So I think college not only teaches you new things, but it also teaches you what you don't want to do at a very affordable price, especially when you talk about community college and things like that. And now he talks about parents and how I agree that historically speaking, especially with the baby boomers and the generation before that, they always told their kids, like, go to college. You have to go to become a doctor, become a pharmacist, go get your doctorate degree, get your master's degree. Education was pushed a lot harder. And he's saying that this next generation, somebody like myself, I might tell my kids, you don't have to go to college, which is totally fine. I don't think everyone needs to go to college.
Education is a macro conversation, not a micro execution called school. Yeah. Like, to me, first of all, a lot of what we talked about here and where I see things going, we're starting to have much better conversations around emotional intelligence. We've destigmatized mental health.
Yeah.
Massive big win for society. Massive. We are now starting to talk about foofy things as alpha things: kindness, compassion, empathy. Dudes did not sit around and talk.
Hell no.
Thank you. So that's starting to trickle. And so
So the thing I would say here is there are classes you can take. If you just go to a lecture class, a lecture hall, and the teacher just lectures, yeah, I agree with Gary. You're not going to learn soft skills. You're not going to learn empathy. You're not going to learn communication skills. But there's lots of classes like speech classes, like certain business classes, many different, there's many genres of courses where you're going to get, interviewing skills, negotiation skills. You could take a sales class. There's so many classes that will improve these skills that he's talking about. And he's right that there's certain degrees like biology, engineering, things like that, where they're not going to spend much time at all on those soft skills. And it is a deficiency that we need to address. However, I just have to say, again, what Gary's saying is he doesn't realize there actually is a lot of curriculum out there to help people learn empathy, soft skills, things like that.
Kids are learning on the internet. Like, that's very nice that you go to 7th grade. Like, that 7th grader is going home and learning how to do shit on the internet.
Yeah, good and bad. Good and bad. Because you got stuff coming out with empirical evidence, and then you got stuff coming out where people didn't read the article, and now somebody believes that you can drink marbles to get your protein.
Exactly. Thank you, Mike, over here. Great point. I agree. I mean, I learn stuff on YouTube all the time. Like, I do my own work on my car. I go on YouTube, do it. When something breaks in my house, I go on YouTube. I learn how to do it. When there's like a new investing craze like cryptocurrency and NFTs, I know I can't learn that in a textbook, so I go on YouTube and I watch some videos on what people are saying. I immerse myself and I educate myself. You should always be going for multiple sources. I recently watched a video, somebody on Reddit posted a picture of these two guys working on a car, and they were looking at a tutorial video, and somebody posted and said, these two mechanics I hired are using YouTube to fix my truck. And then the top comment was, hey, I'm a mechanic. I do that all the time. I think there's nothing wrong with watching a YouTube video, especially because each car is slightly different. It's like when you're paying for a mechanic, you're paying for their tools, their specialty tools. The fact they've worked on something similar, they have a general basic fundamental understanding. So there's nothing wrong with YouTube. But again, I think you can't just do one thing. I don't think you could become a really successful business person only on YouTube. I think you also have to read books. I think you also have to talk to people. I think, taking a few classes would be beneficial. It goes back to the thing of there's not one right answer. It's a mix of things. And then what Mike said is so good, which is a lot of these YouTube tutorials or headlines skip on the details. They don't tell you the details, or there's even sensational things, false things that aren't actually facts, and that is a problem. And when you go to school, you get different professors with different backgrounds with many, many years of education behind them, giving you materials that they've seeked out and vetted out themselves to give to the class. You don't get that on YouTube. People could say whatever they want on YouTube, and they can even lie or say the wrong thing, and there's no one there to hold them accountable.
Like, yo, should I quit college and do this? There's not, okay, I want to make sure I word this carefully. I didn't do good in school because I knew my mouth and my brain kind of like worked in a different way.
Yeah.
But we need these doctors. We need these nurses. My view on college was when it was invented, it worked, but they didn't change things.
Correct, things change.
And that's a fair point. I mean, I want to be fully transparent here. For sure, there's instructors who have been doing their job for 20, 30 years. They're still using the same material. They're not updating the material. There's some that are, maybe they're close to retirement. They're just like, oh, if I could just put in 1 or 2 more years. So they're coasting. They're really not maybe putting in their maximum effort. I acknowledge that the system isn't perfect at all. However, there's pros and cons. And if you just have one really good instructor, or again, use Rate My Professor, find good, talk to counselors, find good instructors, you can navigate your way through. You will have an experience you'll never forget. There's instructors I have had who've made me a lot of who I am today, and without them, I don't think I would be where I'm at. So it only takes that one interaction, that one piece of information to make the world of difference. And if you have to, struggle through 1 or 2 bad instructors, that might actually be good for you as well, right? To deal with these different personalities and navigate your way through. That being said, I agree with him. There is some updating that needs to be done. We need to be teaching relevant information that's of the times, information a student will actually use in the industry and in their real life. 100% agree with that. So there you have Impulsive and Gary Vee. And what I hope you took away from this is that, blanket statements like college is cancel is just is just sensationalized, and it's just wrong, right? It's just a headline. Does college have pros and cons? Absolutely. And it's great that we get to have this discussion and talk about it. I have to commend them on finishing the conversation, and Gary for, I think that's cool that Gary, really dug in a little bit more about what he thought and how, the college still has an important place. And I think George mentioned at the end, people have different personalities. Some people are just entrepreneurial when they're from blood, or their parents taught them, and those people are going to be just fine with or without college, right? There's just some personalities that will do really well. The problem is when there's somebody who just wants to get rich quick, or somebody who wants a shortcut in life, and there's plenty of these people out there, and so they think, oh, if I skip college, I can just do this. And when really college, having structure and learning to not procrastinate, and having a foundational framework put in front of them, whatever it is and what they want to learn, can go a long way. And if you could do it, you shouldn't go into debt. And the whole thing about like students getting into debt and then never getting out of debt, that's another problem that we're not going to go over in this video. But there's lots of courses online, community college, things like that, affordable ways. There's scholarships, there's grants. If somebody does their research, there's a ton of opportunity out there for you. So I guess at the end of the day, I just hope that you look at the full picture, and you don't just listen to a headline, and you consider that in your journey.